because I didn't.
Hello and welcome to the Second Take podcast
Second Take
with
is
Kiran
back, baby.
and Lleyton.
2-week break is done.
Yes, we're back. College apps sort of out of the way, kind of. First stage. Okay, so this week, all in on the NFL. Midway through the season, week 8 has officially concluded as of like an hour ago.
But like a weird midway through the season because they added another game.
Yeah. 8.5. We should have done this in like 3 days, and then it would have been halfway.
We should have recorded between like 12:53 and 1:05 when we were actually midway through the season. Half of the games would have been done next week. That's when we're halfway through the season.
True.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But we'll do this like lying halfway through the season nonsense, spread of fake news. We're not halfway through the season if you want to quote us on that. But
we'll put the official percentage in the description as a disclaimer.
Yeah, we will.
But on to what we're talking about today. The NFL has seen some massive things this past week. So we're going to go through each team on here, and we're going to do the pick'em, and we're going to predict. We're going to recap how well they've done so far this season.
Just discuss.
We'll give our thoughts, and then we'll give our thoughts on how they'll do the rest of the season.
Like a 1 to 2 minute. Just thoughts on the Jets season, what's happened, what's going to.
There you
Jets are 2-5.
They are 2-5. They're
it's
not
a bad look 2-5. Like they either have to be. They should be 0-7 right now.
I don't understand. Who did they win against?
They beat the Bengals.
Oh.
And the Titans.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all. How do they lose so much?
But they're not good. Contenders. They're just not contenders.
I mean, when you look at it, you're seeing like you're looking at them and you're thinking, oh, this team has some potential.
It's a year away.
But then you look at their wins and you look at their losses. They gave up 54 to the Patriots.
Okay.
How is that possible?
The Jets have had a tough start to the season, and it's not getting any easier, and it shouldn't. They're going.
No, it won't.
Top 3 draft pick.
Absolutely.
Top 3 draft pick. Maybe they have another first. If I was a Jets fan, I'd be praying that you have a second first. You maybe get him a receiver, an offensive line, and then late rounds you get some defensive help for a much needed team.
Yeah, Zach Wilson has the potential, but it just ain't there this season. It's too early.
Zach Wilson hasn't been great, but hasn't been terrible.
We'll see. He has yet to pan out.
I'm a big fan of Robert Saleh, former Niners defensive coordinator, first-year head coach.
I prefer Mo, to be honest.
That's the only positives I see from these 2 wins, because I don't want him to be fired at all, and I think he's shown some positive signs.
So you would say that it's just completely talent that they're lacking in the defense that gives up 54, 26, 27 every single week.
Yeah.
26 to the Broncos, 54 to the Patriots. It was like 24 to the Titans, which isn't terrible, I guess. I mean, they're just bad. They gave up 31 to the Bengals, who are just a mediocre team. They gave up 27 to the Falcons. I don't know what to say anymore. It's just inexcusable the way they just give up points and points and points every single week. Every single week, they just give up points upon points. It's ridiculous.
True.
I think the defense is what they need to figure out. The Colts. We say this every week.
The Colts have been all over the map, but have been given a glimmer of hope. Breaking news, Derrick Henry's out for the season.
Unfortunately. But fortunately for the Colts.
Fortunately for the Colts, unfortunately for every other NFL fan that loves watching Derrick.
There you go.
But let's look at the Colts this season.
I feel like every single week when we do this pick'em, we just see the Colts and we're like, oh yeah, for their record, they're really good. But we say that every week, and there's been
I still think
little to no improvement. But there's and we see no improvement.
But really. They've gotten through the rough patch. See, they
Titans,
lose opening week to the Seahawks, and that's when the Seahawks had Russell Wilson.
Yeah, so that's when they were good. So fair enough.
Lost the Rams by 3 at home.
Fair enough. again.
Lost to the Titans. Sure.
With Derrick Henry, fair enough.
In division rival, it's a game you want to win. You start at 0-3. You beat the Dolphins by 10 handily. You lose a heartbreaker to the Ravens.
Unfortunate.
Lamar Jackson was Superman in that fourth quarter and overtime of that game. You beat the Texans by 28.
You do what you do to the Texans, really.
You beat the Niners away. And
then again, another heartbreaker.
And then last week kills you. Carson Wentz doesn't throw a pick for the first 7 weeks. And then it looks like he's cost his team the game. He throws a pick 6 from his own 1-yard line. It was the most Carson Wentz play ever. He drops back, evades something, and then tries to throw a weird little pass, which just tipped and just caught in the end zone, pick 6. That's with a minute left. Oh my God, Carson Wentz has blown the game. He drives down the field and scores in a minute with 1 timeout or something, sends the game to overtime, gets the ball to start overtime, throws a boneheaded interception. Carson Wentz's career was summed up in the fourth quarter and overtime yesterday. But I guess the positive that comes out of it was Derrick Henry was injured on the last play of the game or something. Derrick Henry got 68 yards on 28 carries. It's
not bad.
That is a great
quite good actually.
To hold Derrick Henry to no touchdowns, 68 yards on 28 carries. You love to see it. Pittman broke out. Taylor's been good all year.
Yeah.
Been good all year. Now they go Jets, Jags. Theoretically,
win. So 500
victories. Bills, Buccaneers. Okay, difficult again.
Texans, Patriots, win.
Cardinals,
I think.
Raiders, Jags win again. Okay. Honestly, I wouldn't be opposed to watching this team in the playoffs. I think they have a fun young team mentality with an old white coach, which is the perfect balance for an NFL team. So, I think we get more into this division when we talk about the Titans. But yes, they're a few games back of the Titans, but these Titans have a tough 2 games coming up. Colts have an easy 2. Let's move on.
The Browns, the Cleveland Browns.
The Browns are in the
who I think look decent. I think they're better than.
Just hasn't been there.
They just have so much. I feel like they have a lot of talent.
Odell
producing
should be
offensively.
traded. I didn't even think about the fact that we should do some trade predictions at the end of this because the trade deadline's on Tuesday for the NFL. So I think that's something to watch. I think Odell might be traded.
What's value for Odell? Do you think?
Baker's been dealing with injury. Chubb and Hunt have been missing time due to injury. But they win the Case Keenum game in Denver. What is that? Then they lose with the team healthy again. Jarvis drops 3 big plays at the end of the game. What?
I'm just looking at the teams they're losing to.
It's a very difficult division.
I'm generally not worried. The only thing that would worry me is yesterday's game. Yesterday's game would worry me if I was a Browns fan.
It's a very difficult division. Bengals are somehow good.
You lose in a low-scoring game against the Steelers.
It's Big Ben. Big Ben is.
It just can't happen.
Football.
It can't. Big Ben is washed. You can't let that happen. With the amount of talent you have on that offense, you cannot put 10 points. You cannot put up 10 points in a game.
I like Kevin Stefanski. I think he can pull his team out of this. But if we're doing a panic meter, the Browns panic meter is very high. And it's very high because of the way the Bengals team has been playing.
I think maybe a rash decision tomorrow in a last-ditch attempt to improve something. But we'll see about that, I guess.
You ship out Odell?
It could happen. It could definitely happen. I think with that team, a lot of stuff could happen. So
Bengals are 5-3. And I've wanted to call him a pretender. I've wanted to call him a pretender so bad. And the loss to the Jets helps my case, but it doesn't help it enough. It just doesn't help it enough. Joe Burrow looks so good. The receiving
looks good. They have a good receiving core.
So good, has been so good. Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, CJ Uzomah.
Great. Yeah.
Oh my God. The defense, while not being great, has obviously kept them in games enough to go 5-3.
They do, I will say, most games, it is close. Jets by 3, Packers by 3, Jags by 3, Bears by 3, Vikings by 3. Blowouts versus the Lions and the Ravens.
Yeah,
it's on the ropes.
That's difficult.
It's on the ropes.
But okay.
I think they're good. I think next week is a massive game. This game, obviously.
This game would tie them for the division. Huge game. 10 o'clock
Massive.
window.
The Browns coming off a loss against the Steelers, as I said. Another division game.
Bengals are playing angry. Who loses to the Jets?
And the Browns.
Who loses to the Jets backup to the backup?
Yeah. But they both I think they both have something to prove.
Let's do some mid-pick'em trivia for you.
Go for it.
Can you name the 4 backup quarterbacks to win yesterday?
No.
Can you name any of them?
Probably not. I can't watch games. I also don't have time to watch games, but I can't watch games in the first place.
Yeah, both of us just illegal stream them. I
don't have time to watch games. I'm not. Brother. All right.
But these is just common stats that you should have seen on Twitter over the last 8.
I don't control what I see on Twitter.
Mike White, 1 for the Jets. Cooper Rush, 1 for the Cowboys. Geno Smith, 1 for the Seahawks. And Trevor Siemian.
Oh! I'm an idiot. I know Cooper Rush played. I knew that. Trevor Siemian we talked about earlier today. Off pod. But no, I don't remember the rest. So.
The Jameis season ender. If you
unfortunate. Very unfortunate. But we'll talk about them when we get there.
All right. Bengals, if we play pretender contender for a second, what do you have to say? Pretender or contender?
It's close.
Okay, it's a pretender.
I'll say pretender because of how close the games they've won have been.
True. All right, move on to maybe the easiest pick of the week.
The Broncos. Gotta love their fan base, am I right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
The Broncos have
So the Broncos
on the Broncos and their fans. Denver Broncos of
oh my god.
I'm gonna edit that out, man.
Do it to yourself.
My god.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Fans, not the fan okay, never mind. Different fan. I can't know. He goes to another school. He goes to another school, brother.
All right, sorry. Doing their thing yesterday, but
they started 4-0, right? Or did they start 3-0?
They did start 3-0.
They started 3-0, and everyone's like, or all the Broncos fans I know are like, this is our year again. Teddy's a savior. We're 3-0. We're so good. And then reality hit. They played some mediocre teams instead of dog ones. And okay, now they're 4-4 and they trade Von Miller.
Yeah, it seems
Bridgewater has been mid at best.
I like Terry Bridgewater though, but yeah,
he's back, which I guess is cool.
What do they get for Von Miller again?
Second and a third.
I feel like
it seems like a bit of an overpay if I'm the Rams.
I think the Rams defense is looking dangerous now.
I don't think Von Miller's going to have a huge impact, if I'm being serious. He's coming off injury.
I think
he's a bit old.
He wears glasses, to be fair.
True. Athletes don't wear glasses. That's for certain.
That's what I'm saying. If anything, sports goggles. He doesn't even do that.
Those,
yeah.
It's a mediocre linebacker for. So yeah. Let's move on. Dallas.
Middest of the top 5 teams.
Let's do a quick ranking that I heard on Max Kellerman's podcast today. one-loss football teams in the NFL. We have the Cowboys, we have the Cardinals, we have the Packers, and we have the Rams. Rank them 1 through 4.
After this week.
After this week,
Packers won.
I need your unbiased opinion.
Unbiased. Something stuck in the back of my throat, man. The Packers have to be won, brother.
They're not won.
They have to be won. The Cardinals was everybody's won last week, and guess what happened? They ran into the Packers without their top 3 receivers, and they still lost.
Oh my God, we won without Cooper Rush. It's more difficult.
Brother. Without Devontae Adams.
Not a difference maker.
And Lazard and Marcus Valdez-Scantling.
Difference maker.
And we lost Robert Tonyan halfway through the game. I don't want to hear it, brother.
Oh my God. You lost him with 3 minutes to go in the 4th quarter.
Brother,
you lost him in the 4th. You lost him in the
most important minute. In the most important minute. And it was that. And even if they scored that touchdown, even if AJ Green knew how to turn around to look for a football, we still would have been the top team. Because guess what? Without all those players, we still come within 4 points and make it that close.
You guys do not beat the Rams if you guys play next week.
We do.
There is no chance
100%. We 100% do, brother.
You're wrong.
We're on a 7-game winning streak.
We're on a 6. Sure.
A 6, and you just came off a. And you have the momentum of a bye week. Good job.
Oh my God. You're really downplaying the fact that we won with a guy in his 2nd career start. Come on. Out of Central Michigan. What is this?
You think I care about Cooper Rush? Cooper Rush is nothing. How long? When does that come back? Is the only question.
Next week.
Oh.
He
and then the second, I would put the Cowboys.
He also could have played last week, but Jerry Jones decided to go with like a load management kind of a. Do we risk injury in a game?
I agree. We saw what happened last year. Who's to say it wouldn't happen again if he played through injury?
That's not what happened.
No, I know. No. He got injured last year. I mean,
yeah.
Evidently frail-boned Dak Prescott. So he plays through his injury, and he gets injured again. Now what happens? The Cowboys are in the mud. Another season down the drain.
It's
bye
because
Amari Cooper's talent.
If we play
bye CeeDee Lamb's talent. Bye Dak Prescott's talent. Bye Ezekiel Elliott's talent. All this down the drain. And what? Because you wanted to make sure you won a game against whoever the hell you played.
Not playing the hypothetical game, but the Rams are the best. The Packers are the 2nd. The Cowboys are the 3rd. The Cardinals are the 4th.
I say Packers, Cowboys, Rams. Are the Bucks even there anymore? Cardinals, Bucks.
What are you on about? The Bucks
I wouldn't even say the Bucks are there anymore. Oh, I was just thinking about the top 5.
There's no way you think that the Cowboys are better than the Rams. There's no way you think the Packers are better than the Rams.
I definitely think the Packers are. I think
there's no way you don't think the Rams are the best team in football right now.
I don't.
Stafford's playing out of his damn mind.
Aaron Rodgers is playing how he does every year. Amazing. Like the best quarterback who ever lived, whoever touched the football, whoever graced a football field, whoever's seen a receiver open. I don't even know what I'm waffling about.
If you think Von Miller is going to make an impact, you have to think the Rams are the best team in the league.
I think he's a bit soft, but that's what
I said. 2 minutes ago, I said, I don't think he's going to make a difference. You said, I think he's going to make a huge difference.
I didn't say he's going to make. I just said their defense is looking dangerous.
Okay, let's move on.
Their defense is looking dangerous before, too.
Dak comes back. We've pretty much won the division. I don't want to jinx it, but pretty much.
Don't really. I mean, you've clinched it already.
The Bears are a joke of a franchise.
The Vikings are all right. The Vikings are all right.
Vikings can't beat Cooper Rush. Are they all right? Are they really? They can't beat Cooper Rush.
The second best team in the league without their starting quarterback. I think they'll be all right.
Okay.
Moving on to the abysmal Houston Texans.
Houston Texans, we like them just because they're starting the Stanford kid, Davis Mills. I don't want Brian Culley to be fired because I like Brian Culley. What is there to say? Brandon Cook should be traded over the next 2 days. Bill O'Brien lit a match and then ran away. they're just not a very good football team. Miami, I think Miami's there's more to say. I say this a lot, but Brian Flores may be my favorite head coach in the NFL, and I hate that he's getting fired.
Who, Matt LaFleur? You say Matt LaFleur?
I'd love to see him come back. I'd love to see him come back as like the best defensive coordinator in the league somewhere. Tua can't stay healthy. Should they trade for Deshaun Watson? Should they trade Tua and someone for Deshaun Watson?
I think it's not a terrible decision. We've seen Deshaun Watson. I think
Deshaun Watson can turn around a franchise. They've spent talent on the offense in the last draft.
Even the Dolphins? Does he turn on the Dolphins? Next year,
with Deshaun Watson, they're a good football team. And it's Florida, so they won't care about the off-the-field problems. Like if he came to San Francisco or something like that.
Very true. However, I think there's a lot of cleaning up to do on the offensive and defensive sides.
You trade Xavier Howard for some picks. You try and get some picks back from the Texans when you give them Tua.
And then it's a gamble on the draft picks. And then that's where you're sitting.
That's how all draft picks are.
So how well can they draft?
Draft compensation wins championships.
Okay, in that case,
compensation wins championship.
In that case, all it comes down to is how well can the Dolphins draft next year?
Seems well. Jalen Waddle, I think, is a stud. They drafted Minkah Fitzpatrick, I think, in years past. Who obviously wasn't the best choice, but was the obvious choice at the time, and you can't blame them. All right, let's move on. Falcons. Let's start. Calvin Ridley decides to step away from football for maybe the rest of the year to deal with mental health.
Unfortunate, but well handled, I will say.
Well handled by Calvin Ridley.
A big step for athletics, I think, in general.
Yeah, I did
especially men's athletics, I will say. For
professional athletes to finally speak out, I think, is huge. So thank you, Calvin Ridley, for that. For everyone that's tweeting at him about their fantasy team, I hate you.
Well, I swear you tweeted. Didn't you call him a racial slur?
Like you said the R slur on our podcast.
Raw. No.
So wow. Matt Ryan is old. Without Calvin Ridley or nothing. I'm clipping that for certain. For certain.
We need to tweet this. This needs to be the trend. We should definitely do that.
But not the Broncos bit, please. We gotta edit that out. Shared around Los Altos High School. Denver. What am I saying? Denver on the mind, if you know what I mean. Atlanta Falcons. Cordell Patterson has been the heart and soul of that offense. Cordell Patterson has been the heart and soul of that offense. Out of nowhere, great pickup. It's a tough division. They're not going to win it.
Do they sell or not? Without Calvin Ridley, they're awful. Awful.
Sell what?
Just their whole shenanigans.
They already sold Julio Jones. Matt Ryan might draft a QB, maybe. It's a terrible QB draft. It's one of the worst QB drafts we may have ever seen in our generation.
Is it? I'm not aware of the
bad one.
The college situation.
I didn't know if they can find their starter in this year's draft. Maybe I think Matt Ryan has one more year. You just ride it out and then you build around Ridley, Pitts.
But with no guarantee of his status with the team moving forward, it's just ropey, isn't it? You don't know. It's the first instant we've seen of this kind of thing happening.
Ridley's coming back
sports for sure.
Ridley will come back to football.
You don't know that. You don't know anything about a situation other than he tweeted that he's stepping away for mental health. I mean, that's pretty much it. We don't know an estimated time back because you can't put a number on it. You just can't put a number on it.
Back for next season. That's interesting. That's interesting and something that definitely has to be thought about in the Falcons organization.
And while Patterson's hot, with a deadline coming up tomorrow, today in a couple hours.
Can't trade him. Great chance.
Nothing? Really?
I'm not sure. They should maybe shop them, but I'm not sure if they get something there.
I think some teams will be willing to do something strange for a piece of change, if you know.
Ravens, Titans.
I was thinking Titans because Derrick Henry gone.
Titans signed Adrian Peterson for some reason.
Oh yeah, we should wait. Did we go through?
That's not news. We haven't even gotten to the Titans.
Okay, we'll talk about that.
Saints are done.
Mudded in the mud. Who do they have playing now?
Trevor Siemian.
Can they trade for anybody today?
Deshaun.
Yeah, Deshaun and Michael Thomas comes back. But what do they give up for Deshaun Watson then?
Michael Thomas.
I don't like that as much.
Straight ones, you're declining that.
I think so. Who else do the Saints have? I mean,
Kamara.
Yeah, no, I mean receiving.
Callaway, Traquan Smith, Harris. Doesn't matter if you have Deshaun. Deshaun made Will Fuller. Deshaun made DeAndre Hopkins.
Will Fuller, no. Will Fuller is nice. Will Fuller is really good.
Will Fuller has 0 career completions that aren't from Deshaun Watson, I think.
That's definitely not true.
He was suspended for PEDs before Deshaun Watson was.
He was playing before Deshaun Watson came.
Yeah. When did you start hearing his name? Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, before then. I had him on Madden, brother. He was raw. He was so good.
Yeah, he had that one Madden mobile card, sure.
Yeah, he was disgusting. And then he showed why. He earned that.
Deshaun showed why.
Okay. But I think give up something else, even two pieces, but not, I think you have to keep Thomas. You definitely have to keep Kamara.
It's picks. The Deshaun Watson trade's going to be picks. All right. Saints 5-2. It's been a lucky 5-2.
No, it's been a good 5-2. It's been a good 5.
They beat the Packers and they beat
the Packers. They beat the Bucks. 2 massive games.
Okay. Let's go back to the 6-1 debate because this reminded me. Quality of loss. Packers have the worst quality of loss.
Jameis Winston played out of his mind. Week 1.
You scored 3 points.
Yeah, it was bad. But it was the opening week, and since then we've been so good.
Cowboys lost week 1 because Brady had a Brady-esque kind of a drive with 1 minute. That's one of the only ways that I'm not disappointed to lose a game. If we hang with Tom Brady and Tom Brady plays like the greatest football player of all time and we lose, like, okay, we were outplayed by the GOAT.
And since then, how have you played and how the Packers?
Rams also, Rams lost to the Cardinals, who were hot at the time. Cardinals, you guys have the worst.
To the Packers, who are hot at this time right now. They're the best team in the world right now.
Okay. You're arguing against yourself right now, yeah?
The Packers are the best team in the world right now. And they beat the Cardinals.
The Cardinals have the best quality of loss because they played the best team.
Yes.
Because they lost to the best team. That's not true. I was going to say Cardinals have the second worst quality of loss behind you guys. Because Devontae was out and Lazard was out.
They just got outplayed, brother. Because Aaron Rodgers had an Aaron Rodgers game.
Exactly. They were outplayed by a team they shouldn't have lost to.
You can't do anything when Aaron Rodgers is running down your whole defense, brother. What can you do?
Pause, brother. The
Cowboys. Whole defense. I said whole defense. I said whole defense.
You said whole and then whole defense. The Cowboys,
I said whole defense.
The Cowboys lost to a team they should have lost to. But Packers cannot say that's true.
Okay, sure. I agree. For quality of loss, Packers are down there. Jameis Winston had a good game. It's not excusable that it's not excusable how the offense played, specifically Aaron Rodgers in the first game. Since the quality of wins has been significantly higher than the rest of the top 4
Not
teams.
Really.
Top 5 teams?
The Cardinals and Rams have been tested. The Cowboys and Packers haven't really been tested.
What?
You guys beat the Niners, I guess. You beat the Bears.
We beat the Cardinals without our top 3 wide receivers.
Yeah, you have your one statement win, sure.
The biggest statement you can make in a week.
Nah.
Oh my God. They had three wide receivers out. Yeah. And they beat the number 1 power ranking team on every single list you could find on the internet.
Yeah. That's why I said you had your one statement win.
Yeah. And it's a bigger statement than your entire season. Than the Cowboys' entire season. Or the Bucs' entire season.
Dak coming off injury looking like an MVP candidate. You'll love to see it.
No, I'd say Cooper Rush coming in and winning is bigger than that.
Sure. Saints, great start. Sorry that you have Trevor Siemian the rest of the way.
All right. The Raiders. Pretty mid-team, if you ask me. Darren Waller is...
I disagree.
Can eat dirt. I don't know.
Like racially motivated because he was like...
No.
I don't get why we're going after...
I just don't like the Raiders.
Why?
Beat the Ravens. Beat the Steelers. Started off 3-0. Somehow lost to the Bears. Abysmal. I think the schedule's been pretty easy. The games they've lost, or one of the game they lost.
Let's look at the upcoming schedule, though.
Giants, Chiefs, who are two possibly questionable teams. We'll talk about the Chiefs. Bengals, close one. Cowboys loss. Washington, abysmal. Chiefs, again, we'll talk about them. Browns, Broncos, Colts, Chargers.
Yeah, they'll make it as a wild card at least. Derek Carr's been good. Waller's been good.
I think they make the playoffs, but I don't know if they're deserving of it. I think I'm just looking at that. They don't have the hardest schedule. The Chiefs have been underperforming as
through the John Gruden controversy. I rate them for how well they've handled it and played through with the special teams coordinator as the head coach.
Fair, I guess, but I'm not sold on that. I'm less sold, however, on the New York Giants, who look
okay. Sure, you can say Saquon injury. Receiving core's been injured. I have nothing to say on the Giants. They're just not a good football team with a terrible coach.
Although I will say what I saw in the half-ish of Monday Night Football, they didn't look terrible. They didn't look bad against the Chiefs. I know the Chiefs aren't great right now. They did not look like a team that puts up only 20 points against the Cowboys. No, but they didn't look too bad, if I'm being honest. They lose by 1 against Washington, by a field goal against the Falcons. They get blown out by the Cowboys and the Rams. They blow out the Panthers, and then they lose by 3 against the Chiefs.
What I've just thought of is either the Cowboys will play the Packers in the playoffs, or one of them will play the Rams in the Rams stadium. Or I have a serious question for you.
Go for it.
The Packers make the Super Bowl.
Possible.
Do you go to LA?
I'd kind of be down, but I'm not sure.
Joke. No, not like is your dad a big Packers fan?
No. But I think I can just go by myself, if I'm being honest. I mean,
can you?
No, not on my ones with a couple of other people.
Okay, let's talk about it. Stuff gets real on Second Take Podcast. Lleyton has one invite to the Super Bowl in LA.
Zach, mine.
This is unacceptable.
After what he did for us on Saturday.
That is true. We owe it back. Pay it forward to Zach Mine. Big shout out, my brother Zach Mine.
And if not, but don't worry. If it wasn't him, it would be
Rohan. And then
Bro.
I read that. I
was trying to bait you.
I read that like I'm a Saints.
But third, who would third be? Third, I just wouldn't have a third. I think I'd just go by myself. Anyway.
Let's move on.
I'll pick the Raiders for that one. The Patriots.
The Patriots are.
Are we looking at the second coming of Tom Brady?
Screen share of a Patriots like record, like game history. Let's go from week 1.
All right. Dolphins. How do you lose? Jets. Yeah. Do what you do.
Week 1.
Saints were good.
Week 1, I have no problem with that loss.
Well, week 1. Mac
Jones's first game against a Dolphins team that was very good last year and looked good week 1. Sure, lose that game. Lose that. If I'm a Patriots fan, I'm happy with that. With that being Mac Jones's first game.
Okay.
Week 2 is Mac Jones for real. They beat up on a bad team. Week 3, Winston hit or miss. Winston hit. Sure.
Winston always hits.
4, prime time game. Brady's coming. Everyone's watching. Mac Jones was terrific.
I will say, it was only this close because Tom Brady was very disappointing. I will say that.
Mac Jones was very impressive.
He scored what? A touchdown.
I watched this game and Mac Jones was very impressive.
All right, I'll take your word for it. I can't
for a rain game in Foxborough with the crowd against him at his own stadium. Come on. He was outstanding. It took some last second heroics from Ryan Suckup.
Whoa. Relax, bro.
The Texans game, sure was a bit closer than it should have been, but Mac Jones looked good. This game was the defense's fault. Yes, he shouldn't have thrown that ball at Trayvon Diggs.
Still kept up though.
But came back, hit more.
Kept up.
Short.
Kept up enough.
And then, bam, drops the 50 bomb.
Wow.
50 burger of the year.
Wow.
It was outstanding. And then the statement win. And then they get their statement win. They go to LA and beat the Chargers.
With LeBron there. Was he there? No, that was a week before. Impressive. But
I think they're a playoff contender.
I don't. Well, no, just because but only because they're
Mac, it's Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick is so good at coaching football, and Mac Jones is outplaying every expectation we had of him. Doesn't matter.
1, 2 teams.
They have the head-to-head over the 4-3 Chargers.
2 or 3 teams better.
Let's look at the upcoming
second
schedule.
place teams.
Let's look at the upcoming schedule. Win.
Panthers win. Browns loss.
Toss up.
Falcons win. Titans depends how good AP is. Bills loss. Colts loss. Bills loss. Jags win. Dolphins win. So what is that? That's around 500, right?
It's 10-7.
Is it? Jesus
we have them
1,
losing
2.
to who? The Bills, and Colts.
I'd said Browns as well.
You have them 9-8. I have them 10-7. Probably good enough to make the playoffs out of a joke of the AFC.
That I will agree with.
Let's move. Fun team, interesting team. Love Mac Jones.
The Panthers.
Panthers and Broncos are the exact same story. Started out hot, thought they were something, weren't anything. Sam Darnold, everyone's like, oh my God, it was just the Jets. Sam Darnold's just not a very good quarterback. McCaffrey can't stay healthy ever. I feel like we're nearing the point of is he just a player that's not very good? At some point the injuries are going to hold him back from a real career. And I think we're nearing that point.
I think if they believe in Christian McCaffrey, they should just commit.
Deshaun Watson.
I think if they don't believe in him, they should just completely sell. I think they should just be done with the whole thing.
I think
completely new.
I think they should build
because I think bringing in Deshaun Watson isn't a good idea because you can't rebuild. How can you rebuild around Deshaun Watson when your wide receiver core looks the way it does? When your defense looks the way it does?
DJ Moore?
It looks pretty. DJ Moore is pretty mid. DJ Moore is all right.
Trade McCaffrey for Deshaun and a first.
I don't think the Texans might get that. No, but the Panthers were overpaying so much when we saw what they were willing to do.
When we saw those rumors, Deshaun might just not get beat. I had a stroke on podcast. Deshaun might not be moved, I think, is what we're looking for. Because the rumors have cooled off, which is very disappointing. Let's move. We've gone a bit slow. Bills look like the best team in the AFC. Josh Allen,
for sure.
MVP candidate. Have they been disappointing at times? Who hasn't? Jags, Urban Meyer. I feel like there's like an urban legend joke I can make here. The urban legend of Urban Meyer.
Good one. That's funny.
Great off the field, terrible on the field, if you know what I mean. Not for Trues. He's a bad coach and a bad person off the field. Trevor Lawrence has not looked as good as Mac Jones.
I'll agree with that.
Urban tried it. Urban should be fired.
I don't know. I think they just need to somehow.
They should hire Eric Bieniemy.
They should make. Is Blake Bortles still playing?
No.
Make him retire.
Quarterbacks coach.
Yeah.
Hire him as quarterbacks coach under Eric Bieniemy, head coach. Send Urban back to college.
Yeah.
Or top radio, wherever he was before. Or the bars.
I think Blake Bortles as a quarterback coach is a really good idea. Like a really good idea.
I can't tell if you're being sarcastic.
I'm going to laugh now because you said that. But I think Blake Bortles is one of the most underrated and possibly overhated quarterbacks of like the last 10 years.
You know what made the AFC Championship game 3 years ago?
That's mad.
It is.
He's very good.
Like
he was very mobile back in the day. He could run like the wind. He could run like a jaguar. He could throw like a jaguar. And he was white like a jaguar.
This is why no one can tell if you're being serious. Or I can't tell if you're being serious right now.
I think, dead serious, yeah? I'm so smiling now because I'm so funny.
Come up with a cohesive point that doesn't compare him to
completely serious. Blake Bortles is one of the most underrated and overhated quarterbacks of the last 10 years. And I think it's a really good underrated. I think it's a really good idea to have him as a quarterback coach moving forward for the Jags or for any organization, really. Any organization with a young quarterback that they think can develop into Blake Bortles, but better, it's a really good idea. Because Blake Bortles, but better, is looking dangerous.
Tweet that. Say, I think Trevor Lawrence is Blake Bortles, but better.
Could be.
I like the alliteration.
Oh.
But better, Blake Bortles.
Oh, B. All right, moving on.
And I think it's an interesting take that's like gonna be reposted on ESPN in 5 years. Like, you know, they bring up the old tweets sometimes.
I'll be famous.
Some prediction, yeah.
Nice. Minnesota Vikings look all right for an NFC North team.
Truth hurts. Something Minnesota Vikings. I think that was a line from one of her songs. Vikings are terrible. Nice. Absolute bottle jobs. My God. Last night was one of the most embarrassing things I've seen from a football team in so long. Cooper Rush threw 2 interceptions. It was also Cooper Rush at home. What is that? It's a classic Vikings game. There's no excuses. The excuses are done. Mike Zimmer should just be fired, or you move on from Kirk Cousins.
I think they should.
Trivia question. Who has the lowest primetime win percentage in the last 20 years? It's Kirk Cousins at 320.
There you go. Okay. Cool.
Terrible.
I think they should just completely.
They could be 6-2.
They have assets that they
could be 6-2. They could be 2-6 right now.
Adam Thielen is really good. They could easily flip him for some good picks. That's what I said.
Vikings can't though. Vikings are too good to rebuild.
I think they're just
Vikings have too much talent to rebuild.
So what's the base of the problem? Mike Zimmer's been there forever.
No, he hasn't.
He has. He's been there for ages, I swear. Not forever. Last 7 years or so. Maybe more. He's been there since I've liked football a lot. Well, enough.
So like
as
a
much
week.
as I do. Yeah, a week. He's been there a week. At least a week. How long has he been there? Come on. I know you're looking it up.
I'm looking him up.
Come on, man.
2014. 7 years.
Good 7 years. Exactly what I said. I'm a genius. I'm literally a genius. And what have they done in 7 years? They've dealt with talent.
They've made the NFC Championship game.
They made the NFC Championship game once.
Probably.
And I think they would have made it. What was that one kick?
The Seahawks. Blair Walsh.
What was that to get to?
Walshy.
That would have got them to
divisional.
But it's just, I think they've had a good amount of talent. Terry Bridgewater was pretty good before the injury. Kirk Cousins, you like that? You like that? No, iconic. They've had good wide receivers. They had that one linebacker who's quite good.
Eric Hendricks.
Thank you.
Was that who you were thinking of, actually?
Yeah. He's quite good. He's class. Obviously, Adrian Peterson a while ago. Might have been a bit too long ago.
All right.
But yeah, they've dealt with, the thing I'm saying is they've dealt with talent.
I didn't know if they can rebuild.
And they haven't done anything. I think that's their only option. They're not doing anything with the players they have now.
20.
They're not doing anything. Oh, okay.
You can't rebuild when Justin Jefferson is 20. You tried. You had a good pick.
But I think you just get okay. You need to make some change because Adam Thielen isn't working out. They got rid of Stephon Diggs.
They're paying Kirk Cousins too much money to do anything.
So get rid of Kirk Cousins.
No one's taking on that contract.
Buy out his contract. Is that a thing? Do they do that in the NFL?
That amount of money. They signed him to like an insanely expensive deal.
No, that's easy. 21 mil. He's only there for another year.
So you just let it ride?
35 mil next year. Oh, that's rough.
And they're just going to have a mid-pick this year and a mid-pick next year.
I think they should just tank or something.
How? They're too good.
I don't know, but they have to do something. They cannot just keep running it back with this team that just obviously doesn't work out year after year after year. Something needs to change. Zimmer needs to go. Cousins, wait for your contract to expire, I guess. Thielen can go, to be honest. You get stuff back.
What are you going to get for him? He's maybe something.
He's good. No, he's good.
Ravens, great football team. Lamar is very good. All the credit goes to Jim Harbaugh. John Harbaugh?
Yeah.
Jim?
Jim, I thought it was. John.
Okay, I was right. You were wrong. Great job. We move. Marcus
They're a
Peters.
good team. I mean, there's not much to say.
Marcus Peters, Gus Edwards, and J.K. Dobbins all got injured in like one horrendous practice, and they're 5-2.
Yeah, it's impressive what they've done.
If Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon got injured, the Packers aren't 6-1. If Zeke Elliott and Tony
they're 7-0. Okay, sorry.
We're not 6-1. What John
No, it's
Harbaugh
impressive what they've done. It's impressive what they've done. However, we know how bad the AFC is. We know how bad the AFC is, and so it does reduce their confidence of being 5-2 with all these injuries.
It doesn't.
I think the competition is worse.
Bad.
It doesn't
it's just
reduce.
Up in the air.
It's significantly worse than
it's not, though.
The NFC. Top 5 teams in the NFL right now.
Terrible divisions and 2 great divisions. The AFC just has like a lot of contending teams.
Top 5 teams in the NFL right now. All 5 are in the NFC. Yeah, it's mad. It's mad. And then the Bills are there and the Ravens are there.
Teams are. Oh no. Bills are in my top 5.
They're not in my top. What, they've overtaken who?
Buccaneers.
Yeah,
maybe Cardinals.
I think that's fair. Out of top 6, 5 are in the NFC.
I think they're better than the Cardinals. The Chargers.
The Bills are better than the Cardinals?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we'll ignore that take.
I stand
because we are running long here.
Philly's terrible. I have nothing to say about them. Nick Sirianni experiment didn't really work out. Hurtsy didn't really work out. Hurtsy's been good.
Jalen Hurts not bad. He's not bad.
Good. Chargers I have a lot to say.
Herbert's amazing. Bosch, Eckler, amazing. Keenan Allen, sick.
Yeah.
The defense, Scouch.
Nick Bosch.
Just great. Just great in general. Good team. Seems like they're better than 4-3.
What is happening?
Cursed by LeBron attending their games.
Cursed by Bill Belichick. Packers, what is there to say that hasn't already been said?
They're the best team in the world.
Not
the Kansas City Chiefs, disappointing. I was very close to winning my fantasy football game today. Unfortunately, on the 9-yard line, they reached like -8 yards in 3 plays.
Wait, what happened?
Unfortunate. If Damian Williams scored a touchdown there, I would have won.
Okay, that seems.
If Tyreek scored, I think I would have won, or I would have lost by less than 1 point.
If anyone scored a touchdown, you would have. You lost by 3.
I lost by 3.
Any touchdown would have won it for you.
No, because he had Patrick Mahomes.
You would okay, sure. Doesn't matter. Green Bay looks good. Kansas City 4-4, disappointment. I think we'll get in depth on like these last few teams maybe next week. But let's go through quick. Cardinals can't lose.
Cardinals losing the momentum, but hopefully getting it back against the Niners.
What is it? Start Garoppolo, sit Garoppolo, play Lance, sit Lance. What are you doing? Titans.
Figure it out.
You like them. You want to cheer for them. I think they have first round.
They're mudded now. All over. They're gone. They might make the playoffs if they're lucky, but without Derrick Henry, their entire offense has been foiled. The Rams look really good.
Favorites to win the NFC.
Top 3, probably top 2 team. Looking back now,
to win the NFC.
Possibly. Not my favorite, but a favorite.
The Bears are the reason why you don't put a rookie quarterback in week 2.
Abysmal. Andy Dalton should have started the entire season.
Andy Dalton should have started all the games we've seen so far.
The Steelers look decent, but
Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and the Bengals are all like proving the AFC is all mid contenders point. And I think in 3 weeks we'll like sit down and look at the playoff bracket. But for now, that's been our quick, not so quick,
very long actually.
Mid-season recap. We'll get into more teams, more sports next week.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like the video. Great success. That's a Broncos fan.
Good night. That again.